water washed over my thick fur, and for a moment I wished I could just breathe it in and let go. Let go of my memories. Let go of my disappointment. Let go of my dreams. If only I believed death would be so kind. Gradually, I made my way out of the stream. My paws were as caked with mud as my thoughts. Disheartened, I shook the water out of my fur, and was futilely trying to get the mud out from between my claws, when I heard a woman's laugh. Whipping my head up, I saw Anamika crouching on the limb of a tree, the golden bow across her shoulder, and a quiver of arrows strapped to her back.
"That was the most pathetic hunt I've ever seen,"
she mocked. I growled softly, but she ignored the warning and continued making comments.
"You chose the weakest creature in the forest, and you still couldn't bring her down. What kind of tiger are you?"
She nimbly hopped down from the thick branch. Anamika wore her green dress, and as she strode toward me, I was momentarily distracted by her long, shapely legs. But then she opened her mouth again. The young goddess put her hands on her hips and said,
"If you're hungry, I can bring down your meal for you, seeing as you're too weak to do it yourself."
Blowing a derisive breath from my nostrils, I turned my back on her and loped off in the other direction. But she quickly caught up to me, matching my speed even as I darted through the trees. When I realized there was no shaking her, I halted and switched forms. As a man, I spun to her and bellowed in annoyance. "Why do you insist upon shadowing me, Anamika? Isn't it enough that I'm stuck here with you day in and day out?" She narrowed her gaze.
"I am as much stuck,"
she rolled the word across her tongue, since it was fairly new to her,
"here with you as you are with me. The difference is that I do not waste my life away yearning for something I shall never have."
"You know nothing about what I yearn for." She raised an eyebrow at this, and I knew what she was thinking. In reality, she knew everything I yearned for. Being the tiger of Durga meant that the two of us shared a bond, a mental connection that linked us every time we assumed the forms of Durga and Damon. We tried to give each other space, putting up a sort of mental barrier, but we both knew much more about one another than we were willing to talk about. An example of this was that I knew she missed her brother terribly. She also hated taking on the role of Durga. Power didn't interest her, which actually made her the perfect choice to rule as a goddess. She would never abuse the weapons or use the Damon amulet for selfish purposes. That was something I admired about her, though I'd never admit it. There were other things I'd noticed that I'd come to respect in the past 6 months. Anamika was fair and wise in resolving disputes, always thought of others before herself, and she wielded weapons better than most men I knew. She deserved a companion who supported her and helped make her burden easier. That was supposed to be my job, but instead I often wallowed in self-pity. I was about to apologize when she started pushing my buttons again.
"Believe it or not, I am not following you around to make your life unpleasant. I am simply assuring that you do not hurt yourself. Your thoughts are continuously distracted, which means you put your well-being at risk."
Hurt myself? Hurt myself? I can't be hurt, Anamika.
"Hurt is all you've been for the past 6 months, Damon," she said more quietly. "I have tried to be patient with you, but you continue to display this weakness."
Angrily, I approached her and jabbed my finger in the air next to her nose, effectively ignoring the barely noticeable, yet appealing dusting of freckles across it, and the long, lashed green eyes a man could lose himself in. Let's get a couple of things straight, Anna. First, how I feel is my business, and second— I paused then as I heard her suck in a breath.